What's this all about?
It looks like fun.
It sure is in high school.
Are you ready for college? Transition from high school to college can be overwhelming.
Your success in college is largely dependent on your ability to handle stress.
According to Dr. Richard Caddison of Harvard University Health Services, the average college student has about a 1 in 2 chance of becoming depressed beyond the point of being able to function, about a 1 in 2 chance of binge drinking on a regular basis, and about a 1 in 10 chance of seriously considering suicide.
Before you go to college, ask yourself these questions. How will you handle roommate issues? How often will you keep in touch with family and friends? How will you make new friends? How will you deal with stress? How will you know to make good choices? How will you deal with time management? And how will you pay for tuition and other expenses?
We asked several college students these questions, and here's what they have to say.
College is different than high school because you're not only developing those foundations, but you're finding your own interest.
You need to seek out what you want. The opportunities are there, they have all the programs, they have everything you could look for as long as you're going to take that step.
Competition is huge now, so you need to really focus on what you're doing and why you're in college.
I have this freedom, but I also have to take a look at the ramifications of my actions.
A lot of freshmen don't make it past their first semester because they don't transition well.
It's all new. Don't do anything too stupid, you know.
College is full of new opportunities and adventures.
Relationships, both old and new, can impact the success of your college experience.
For my parents, my relationship with them was a lot different after I entered into college.
As a freshman, my parents tried to get a hold of me a lot more than I tried to get a hold of them.
When you're at home or, that sort of thing, your relationship is different because you might get kind of annoyed with them or that sort of thing, or you feel like they're nagging you.
As the course of the year went on, we definitely figured out, times of day that we're available to talk and how often we both would like to talk to each other, so it's good now.
But then when you get into college, well, from my perspective, I really started to appreciate them more.
I really had to let go in terms of some of my high school relationships with friends and whatnot.
The friends that I had in high school, I don't really connect with them as much as I used to.
I was used to talking to them on a daily basis, and that wasn't really possible going to different schools.
I mean, I still have the friends that I'm very close with.
But it's certainly not the same as standing around, between every class period and talking every couple hours.
And now I'm developing new relationships, which is great.
Meeting people is probably the easiest thing to do on campus.
We had all kinds of social events, gatherings that the university set up during the first couple weeks.
Everyone is in the same experience, in the same boat as you are, so they're willing to meet people too.
The first way you meet people is in your classes. I mean, you're going to see these people multiple days a week for an entire semester. So you'll have a connection right there.
You meet people in your classes, your lecture halls,
on-campus organizations and clubs,
in the cafeteria, sporting events.
Dorms will probably provide you with your closest group of friends.
Everywhere, anywhere, everywhere you can meet people.
Roommates are fun.
I was nervous at first because the random roommate thing, I don't know her.
I've had some great experiences and I've had some horrible experiences.
She was from a bigger city, so I come from a small town, so I'm like, okay, how's that gonna work?
And it all ties back to how you work through conflict with them.
And I met her, and it was fine.
There were times where, it was just like, oh, she's getting on my nerves, or I was getting on her nerves, and we couldn't tell each other that we were getting on each other's nerves. And so it just made us bitter in the end.
By the end of the year, I thought we were great roommates.
If I see that girl, I don't even speak to her.
We were open to communicating with each other and learn from each other.
But because we couldn't, talk through our issues, or we didn't have, experience working with other people and going through conflict like that, we didn't work out well.
I think it worked out really well, and I think it was a really good experience to learn about relating to other people, and it was definitely a growing experience.
That's sad. I regret that.
It was cool. I'm glad that I did that.
At some time during the school year, more than 90% of college students said they felt overwhelmed by all they had to do.
Stress is the most reported health impediment to academic performance.
And how you manage that stress is essential for your well-being.
Making good choices will help you to succeed.
They don't exaggerate it at all when they tell you it's very stressful.
I think everyone experiences stress because it's a different atmosphere from what you're used to.
Stress, anxiety can come from anything. The first week you're away from home and you're trying to adjust.
The big thing that causes stress primarily would be school.
Meeting new people might be stressful.
Like the actual classes and the grades and your finals and your midterms.
Getting your books, buying things, making sure you're prepared for your classes, making sure you wake up in time to walk to your classes.
It's really stressful come midterm or the end of the semester when every professor you've got has assigned a big research paper and every professor has a big test.
Classes are hard, and maybe you feel like everyone else knows what's going on, but it's over your head, and that can be stressful.
A final, for most colleges, it holds so much weight to your grade. You have to do good in it, or else it can wreck you.
Stress can come from everywhere.
You just have to find something that works for you. Sometimes I go for walks and that sort of thing, and that relieves a lot of stress.
I think it's important to take breaks. Take study breaks, take breaks to go clear your head, maybe go run, work out, watch a movie, relax, get sleep.
You're not going to get a whole lot out of studying for 5 hours and having a fried brain, Study for 2 hours, take a little break, go eat something, just relax for maybe a half an hour, then hit the books again.
I make lists. I like to make lists and check things off when I'm done with them. That makes me feel a lot better when I see a bunch of checks.
I'll call up a friend that I haven't talked to in a very long time, somebody who, really listens to me, and that means a lot, just having them say, oh, well, you know what, you can get through this. You've done this before. You're a pro. You can handle this.
Call home. Say, hey, I'm stressed. Tell me something that happened today, and just relax. Or talk to your friends, because they're probably going through it too.
Because we're all stressed with college, because it's a lot of work, and you just need to talk about it.
You have to figure out the way that you can handle your stress. And once you figure that out, just start to work with that, move around that, because you're going to be doing it for the rest of your life.
The social scene can be whatever you want it to be.
If you ever hear somebody say there's nothing to do, they're lying or they're just being lazy. Because there's always something to do.
It's just a matter of being open-minded and seeking out what you're looking for.
There's tons of organizations that you can join.
Hanging out with friends in the dorm, watching movies.
There's sporting events you can go watch all the time.
Going out late at night, hanging out at somebody's house.
There are parties.
It can be as rowdy or as mellow as you would like it to be. You're gonna have the range of people who drink way too much and people that don't drink at all. And
as long as you're responsible and you think about the consequences of what you're going to do.
No one pressures anyone else, really. It's you make your own choice, and that's fine with everyone.
And alcohol is kind of a big magnifier of bad behavior.
I'm paying thousands and thousands of dollars to get an education.
I've seen a lot of people do stupid things, as freshmen because they didn't know any better.
So I might as well get an education instead of going there for the experience and then dropping out after a semester because you partied the whole time.
When people tell you stories about college, drinking, it doesn't have to be that way.
You just got to stick up for what you believe in and just, people respect you for that too.
Contrary to popular opinion, the goal of college is to get a degree, which lands you a good job and a great future.
In terms of academics, you're definitely not in high school anymore.
High school was far easier than college.
You go to school so much less in college, and you study so much more.
College, you need to take a whole different approach. It's a whole different type of studying.
In high school, it was if you didn't turn in the assignment, well, I'm going to call your parents. Well, I don't think I could ever even dream of a professor or a TA calling my parents for anything.
In high school, you seem to have all these assignments and homework things that boost your grade, or, you have so many opportunities to build your grade. Whereas at college, you might have 1, 2 tests and a final or something, and that might be it.
It is not easy, especially coming out of high school where a lot of students don't have to study really to get the grades they want because it's not as hard. And then you come to college and you have to study.
You do have to read. I mean, you have to stay on top of it, and don't save it for the last minute because you won't retain all the information.
A really good idea is find study groups.
There are always tutors at the library, that are free.
I like to have a study buddy for my classes since I have a very busy schedule, so I can't always meet the professors during office hours. So it's nice to make a friend in class and just get together with them or call each other and talk about assignments if you're having a hard time.
Learning to study was a huge, huge battle. I mean, everyone tells you that. Believe them when they tell you that because it's real.
No one forces you to go to class, and sometimes professors don't even count attendance at all, so it's more tempting to skip class.
It was a little bit shocking the first time I woke up tired and was going to go to class and realized that there's no one here making me go to class.
I would not skip a class at all, because once you skip a class, it's like you have no clue what's going on at all. So you should definitely go to your classes, and it's a lot easier to do your exams and study for homework assignments if you're always in class. Otherwise, you just fall behind really easily.
It's harder to pull your GPA up. It's very easy to pull your GPA down.
You're left to fend for yourself. If you mess up, it's your responsibility.
I just keep a really tight schedule. Like, I have an hourly schedule of what I need to do and what I need to get done, and I just stick to that schedule.
I schedule my classes in the morning because I know that I'm a morning person.
That way you can plan your day and you know what you can do and what you can't do.
A lot of professors will hand you out a syllabus at the beginning of the semester, and they'll have due dates of major research papers, and they'll have major test dates on there.
So you know when your deadlines are and what you need to do in a certain time.
You can really nip the stress at the beginning by planning.
Balance in your work and fun.
It's all about balancing.
Be your own boss and be in charge of your life.
As a freshman, I was really intimidated by professors. They're these really smart people with doctorates who are teaching me all this information.
How do I talk to them, and what if I have a question and they're gonna think I'm stupid?
And so email is a great way because you don't have to actually go to them.
You have their email address right off the bat, you have their office hours.
As I got a little bit older and got to know my professors throughout the semester, I felt perfectly comfortable with calling them at their office or even stopping by their offices.
And so after I got over that nervousness, shyness, it was fine. Talking to professors was very comfortable.
Oftentimes, if you come proactively to your professors, they're really good at, sitting down with you and helping you revise a paper.
Professors are accessible if you're willing to, take that first step.
They're teaching because they like to teach.
Money. You need it to pay for tuition.
Money.
You need it to pay for housing.
Money.
You need to pay for gas, food, books, laundry, and late-night pizza.
Money.
You need it to pay your underage drinking ticket.
What?
It can happen. Who's paying for all of this?
And how?
Financial matters are huge for stress for parents, families.
My parents and I sat down and looked at my financial aid pack.
We really looked at the money I make in the summer and save up and what I had for scholarships and what I could take out for loans.
It was a little awkward at first talking about money with my parents because money isn't something that my parents and I had really discussed in high school.
And I knew that I would be paying for most of it and my parents would help where they could.
They definitely were really upfront with, this is how much that we can help you out with, and this is how much you're getting from the school, so we're gonna have to take out this much in student loans.
We really set up a good plan and really knew what we needed to take out for a loan so that I'm not going to be paying this loan off forever, that it's manageable.
I have an on-campus job, which is really lucky. Otherwise, I probably would have had to take out additional loans.
There's 3 kinds of spending. There's room and board, there's university, like you have to pay to go there.
They make you pay for everything.
And then there's spending money.
$200 for a parking permit, and then you can only park in certain places.
Your own food.
Food can be really expensive.
Going out, which is expensive if you're stupid.
And it took a little while for me to learn to budget for that and figure out about how much I need to spend.
You go out with friends, you go out for a meal, you go to a party or something, and then you go after that and buy pizza, and pretty soon you're out $40. And you go, wow.
Live within your means.
Just budget.
You're a college student, you don't have money. You're not supposed to have money.
It's manageable.
There's a lot going on at college.
Roommates, classes, campus activities, parties, freedom.
Planning for the changes will make a big difference.
Are you ready for college?
Are you ready for college?
Get ready for college.
Get ready for change.
And prepare yourself for success.
It's your choice to go to college, and you just need to make the right decisions toward your future.
You just have to learn how to balance out your time and make sure that you're staying on top of it, even though your professors aren't down your back, making sure you're on top of it.
You gotta keep in mind that you're there to go to school. A lot of kids forget that.
The number one person I'm answering to now is myself. And I gotta realize that you're controlling your own destiny.
I really think about, well, is this good for me, or is this worth my time, or is this leading me in the direction that I want to be in?
If it keeps going like this, the best 4 years of my life, probably 5 years. But it's not going to be easy either.
That's a wrap.